I tell you what it is. Welcome
It's
Welcome.
curry chicken.
Welcome.
to the Three Oak Podcast, where even the artists can be fans. AJ the Menace.
Shane and Petty.
I am Javada Hunter.
Who you, bro?
Thought you had a name, fam.
Who you, bro?
Leon Gamble.
Leon Gamble. And today we have with us
You know what I'm saying? It's Richie McFly.
Richie. I was about to
Go Yard God.
I was actually about to say that because the Go Yard God. Oh,
You know what
okay.
I'm saying?
Go Yard God. And just so y'all know, he finally came, people. We've been talking about him for a couple weeks, and he finally is here
I'm here.
to
I'm
talk
here.
that fashion, that fly
Welcome.
shit. He's ready. Yup.
Thanks, y'all. Thanks.
But yeah, yo, we were talking about a bunch of shit before the air, and it kind of just like threw me off. But I mean, I can jump right into this real quick.
Okay.
Cardi B released her single, people.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Fire.
pretty good.
Now it's a
Fire.
single and not
Yeah.
just a, she just put it up there as a song because a lot of people do that nowadays. Where it's just
Nah,
like,
this is a
here's
single.
song,
This is an
here's a
official
song.
single. Because the album coming out April 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yes.
it really?
Yes.
Oh my god.
That shit's around the corner, bro.
Yep.
I can't
So-
wait to hear the intro.
Ooh.
You know the
yeah,
intro's gonna be
it's
something
be
I
hard.
didn't think
It's
about
gonna be
that.
hard as
I have a
hell.
lot of faith in that intro after I heard this song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Because that's what I was telling her. I was like, I wasn't even going to listen to it. I was going to wait to hear what the, on iTunes, you get whatever has a star by it. I'll listen
Yeah.
to those.
Yeah.
You know, like after it's been
I
out.
go straight to that.
Yeah. I'll play all the stars first. That's what I
Straight to that
was
one.
going to do to it.
Yeah.
Nah.
But
Listen
after
to
that
stuff from the
single,
top.
I was like, nah, I'm going to get that whole thing a good solid listen to.
Timed it right. Excellent marketing.
Man.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It could be technically rushed, though. You listen to the Joe Budden podcast, right?
Well,
And they
no,
were-
because even going back to like a while ago when she was in the studio, she's been recording stuff for a minute. So.
She has, but at the same time, it didn't seem okay. So this was on the Joe Budden podcast, but when he broke it down, it made a lot of sense. All these artists have been assigned to Atlantic, Uzi Vert. They've been like complaining about how the record label Atlantic style. These last few big artists that they've had, they've dropped a single and let that shit eat for like a year and some change before we even get either a second single or an album. So it's like they have not been rushing at all. So of course, with the Cardi B thing saying that she might be pregnant, that will rush some shit real quick.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
technically, this is kind of. It could be looked at as rushed as well, even though at least the music is good from that second single. But we don't know what this.
Do y'all
Just,
think she's pregnant?
I mean, I honestly don't know.
I can't tell.
I honestly,
Yeah,
have
I
no
can't
fucking
tell.
Bro
idea.
said I don't care.
We will know. Give it a
We
couple
will
days.
Yeah, that's
Give
what
it
I'm.
a
And
little
no,
time. We
and
will
that's
know.
how I
We will
feel.
know.
I'm like, well, okay, I heard it for the first time. I'll wait 3 months from now, see what happens. Like,
Right.
if anything changes, because I don't fucking know. She don't look pregnant, but
No.
I mean, they say that's why she wore like that.
Yeah,
big
but she's
dress
been
on the
wearing big
award
stuff.
show
She
and
has.
shit.
She's been hiding her stomach. So I'm
see
like,
that I haven't been paying attention to.
Yeah.
How like that might be hiding her stomach. That'd be kind of crazy.
Stuff, yeah.
Then
Offset is fertile, if that's true. I'm like, woo.
Bro, then they got
Oh,
like
he
10
got another
kids.
joint out here too.
Bro.
He got another joint out here wilding, claiming
Fertile.
oh yeah, and she is so gangster with it. I hate her, but it's
What
like
you
mean?
I
She
hate
be with a lot of
the
people.
way she's on the internet.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
she be like her location on her like Twitter says your favorite rapper's house or some
Oh,
shit like that.
man.
Like this is what she's known for,
man.
fucking like
Yeah.
famous rappers, right?
Crazy.
She tweeting the nigga dropping receipts.
Yeah.
He tweeted like, I don't know this hoe. She
Yeah,
just started
like,
posting screenshots like, oh
crazy
yeah, nigga.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
oh, okay.
Just terrible. Just fuck your whole life up shit. You know what I mean?
Shit, yeah,
Then she's like, yeah, I'm gonna pull up on you. I'm gonna serve you for the for the DNA test when you come do your show on this date. I'll be waiting for you.
Wow.
Yeah, so-
savage.
Yeah, so
It's a
hey look.
saga. It's a
Yeah.
Hey, if you guys want to be stars,
So,
man, welcome to the life.
So is Cardi B talking about Offset on
And
this
that
song?
single,
then?
and that single is obvious. It has to be about Offset now.
Well,
She
yeah,
talking
see that's
about
what I
him
don't
or
know.
nah?
She gotta be, right?
She gotta be right.
She gotta be.
If
based
they're
off that energy we
engaged.
just came with, if that's what, if that,
Yeah.
if any of that has any,
I saw
real-
somebody post that we need an Offset response.
No.
Do y'all think that? I don't think
no.
that.
I don't know how that's gonna
But
No.
and I think they only said that just because Jay-Z and Beyonce did this response. You know what I mean?
But that's Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Right.
There's only a certain amount of people.
They're married.
That's true. It's a
They're
certain
married, guys. They're married.
So engaged is automatically
And
off
Jay-
limits,
yeah,
but if they're
Jay
married, they
can't
can do it.
it's
What if?
not,
You can
it's
cancel
not a
an
wife or a
engagement.
husband.
So as long as they're wife and husband,
It's not.
they can.
I
You would
mean-
you would accept the response,
I mean, if they're comfortable with that, yeah. That's some shit they gotta go through.
or are we taking out the quality of artists too?
I don't know. That could, yeah, that's a factor as
Jay-Z
well.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot of factors to think about. It's a lot of married. Well, not that many that do music. Married
A
couples
lot
that
of
do
them are
music.
married. Well, not well that are together now.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that do
Well,
music and
no.
shit.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a Jay-Z and Beyonce
No,
thing.
but I mean, yeah. I mean, after listening
Pat
to that
Booth and
single
Remy
just
Ma.
now, for
Huh?
the first time, after listening to that single for the
It's
first time
different.
just now, I don't see that being out of the realm of possibility. Like,
Yeah.
definitely could be Offset. He's talking about.
He said,
She sound hurt.
Yeah.
but I mean, I feel like a
sounds-
lot.
it's a good
But I feel like a
record.
lot of
Sounds
women
great.
have that story from multiple niggas though. So
Yeah, that's
could have been
true. That's a
anybody.
fact. That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
true.
Yeah.
we don't have a story
We
like
don't know where
that.
they
About
draw
an ex or
inspiration
some
from.
shit.
Exactly.
for
Yeah.
every
Could have been
song.
him.
Yeah.
Of
I
course.
was looking on Instagram and like somebody said that she was talking about Offset and she actually like responded to
Oh,
it.
okay.
And she was like, "I just be rapping about life and shit," but like she didn't
Pretty much.
She didn't directly say, "No, it's not about Offset." You know
So
what I'm
okay,
saying?
Right.
well yeah, that was about
Hashtag
Offset.
media
Offset, you
training. I
might
love it.
you
You know
need
what
to
I'm
go to the
saying?
drawing board about some sort of response.
Yeah.
Even though you're not gonna be beefing with her. But real quick, when you said Remy and Papoose, Papoose would kill her, bro. Papoose would kill her, bro.
Yeah.
Papoose would kill her. Papoose is too good, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I don't listen to his music, but he is too fucking good, yo.
Yeah,
So
Bruh.
yeah, it will get disrespectful real quick. Like
yeah.
it would hurt to listen to
I feel
Remy's
you.
response. So, but yeah, but
Oh, you thought Nikki was a problem? All right.
Exactly.
All right.
I got some bars for you, nigga. Fat Joe gonna be with her like, come on, Rem. Come on, Rem.
It's like Rocky.
We can't let him do you like that, Rem.
Nah.
Get back in the ring.
Woo.
Yeah, that shit would be funny. But
Would
besides,
it?
go ahead.
Would it be funny?
It would.
Honestly, it
Ooh,
would
I
be
don't know.
funny.
I mean, it'd be
Even
brutal,
a-
but
It'd be funny. I'd feel
This is uncomfortable.
I'd feel bad for them, but at the same time, I'm gonna turn it into a joke, so I don't feel uncomfortable. So it's gonna be funny.
You're
for
gonna
me.
work through the pain.
like nobody's
Yeah,
getting killed.
I'm thanking God I'm not in that situation, and I'm gonna enjoy it from a distance. Like
You're like
feel
Michael
you.
Jackson meme.
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah, Bob
Michael
Dylan,
Jackson
yeah.
in the movie theater.
Terrible.
Hell yeah. But besides that, other shit in music, The Weeknd dropped my Dear Melancholy, which
Ooh.
pretty
My
much
boy
fucked the
sounds
internet up.
sad.
I mean, I didn't listen to it though, but I mean, niggas
That's
is
good.
We heard
Fire.
some samples.
yeah, we
sound
did get
good.
some samples.
I feel like we got the old Weekend back. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
It's
see,
like-
I didn't know that.
I feel like Starboy is dead, and we
Starboy
got
was good.
we gotta no. I feel like he killed Starboy with this, and it's like a different.
So he
feel.
takes characters
He brought it back to
on
the
each
damn-
project.
Well, I mean, he made
No.
that character Starboy.
Starboy was a character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
like
because
a
in the
made-up
video,
character.
yeah, in the video, he killed his own self with the locks. He kills his,
Yeah.
his self, and then the one with like the flat top and shit, like
yeah,
walks
that's
on.
when he cut his hair
Oh.
and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
They even made like a comic book. Like he's a
Yeah.
Marvel
Yeah,
superhero.
that is
officially.
true.
Holy
Because there's a
Starboy is a
That's
Marvel
book.
superhero.
Yeah.
Yes,
Damn.
that's true.
Holy
Yeah. this shit's
I didn't know it was
wild.
that big.
I did
Yeah.
not either.
But I feel like he brought it back to like the trilogy kind
Right.
of feel now.
Oh,
And
that
it's
makes
like,
So
Yeah.
how far
And that
ago
was
was
the
the
best
trilogy?
Weeknd
Was
to
the
me.
trilogy during the Drake Take Care like
yeah.
back then? Drake
Dark.
Weekend. I mean.
Able.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Abel. This
That's his
nigga
real
got.
name.
Oh,
No, that's
he
his
got
real
old-
That's
name.
his real
But
name.
like, yeah, that's
Oh,
his real name.
I'm
But,
like,
You
he
see
got-
people call him Abel. They're just calling him by his real name.
I'm about to say,
Yeah,
how
I
many
heard
fucking
you.
alter egos this nigga got? Is he that nice? Like,
It took me a while.
that
to
he could
figure out
create
that
a
was his
different
name.
person every album? That would be
Yeah, yeah.
insane. Like,
This nigga's Mick Foley. Of
Yeah,
Yeah,
multiple
yeah.
personality disorder.
yeah, that's what it sounded like for a second. I was about to say, hold on, how many products we got and how many characters? Because I need to look into this shit.
Like we think it's just like he's just playing around, but he actually has multiple personality disorder, and he needs to.
that'd be crazy. And yeah,
oh,
that'd
I
be
thought it was
crazy.
a gimmick.
Right.
And he's just making millions off of it. And
Right.
we're watching like an
Yeah.
issue.
We think it's just an act, but
And
it's
nobody's
actually a
asking
serious
that
issue.
Using this
if
for
he
our
needs.
entertainment
Nobody's
issue.
asking if he needs help or
Yeah,
something.
Are you
yeah.
okay, bro? Nah, bro. I got
Damn.
so many
It's like what
personalities
Split,
over
like the movie Split.
Yeah.
Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Split was crazy.
Yeah.
Split was crazy.
here.
But
Starting the weekend. and shit.
but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's really all I have for my section besides the write out. Oh, I got one more thing, real quick. Even though this ain't really like music about the music, this is just music fuck shit. Fabulous and his
I knew you were about
girlfriend.
to say that.
Yeah, I
watch
didn't.
the video.
I didn't believe it. When I first,
The video is-
what'd you feel when you first saw
video is
when you first heard about it?
I mean, I was like, that's not fabulous, bro.
There's
You
no
know what
way.
I'm
That's
saying?
exactly
Like,
what I was thinking.
That's not fabulous, bro.
I never seen this nigga act like this
right.
before. Like,
but you don't know anybody. You know what I'm
But
saying?
then
We
there
don't know
was
Fabulous.
footage.
He's not our friend.
But then there was footage.
What was in the footage?
so the footage is them outside of their house. Somebody recording from the inside of the
Mm-hmm.
house, and it's her dad, her brother, and then
No,
This
it's
is
just,
wife?
No, it's just her dad, and him.
wasn't there was another guy out there? It was like
Security.
his bodyguard. Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
who the fuck was recording it, yo?
Whoever, thank God they were recording it.
Like, yo, they were in
He
the cut.
he said he
recording
had
that
bullets for them, and then
For
when
the
she,
dad.
yeah, but
Yeah.
then when she started recording him, that's when he started like chasing after her, and she started yelling. I was like, oh my God!
shit. See, that's
Yeah.
how we know
Yes,
because
it
like
was.
'cause she
Exactly,
pulled her
that's
phone
what
out
fuck-
in front of his face,
And he
and he
got
was like,
mad.
"Don't record me," and it
Yes.
was like, "Damn, bro, you trying to cover it up now?"
Woo.
See
Yeah.
that, and that
Yeah.
was the only thing. Like he had words for the dad, But he wasn't trying to press the dad the same way he was trying to press her. That was the only thing that
Yeah.
made me be like, because he would take 2 or 3 steps towards her if she said something. But the dad is going ham, of course, as like you can imagine the dad would be going.
Yeah.
But he's not making no 2, 3 steps towards this nigga. That's the dude you need to move towards if you really want to put hands on niggas.
Yeah.
But he was actually trying to move toward. So that was the only thing that I saw, and I was like, damn, man, he might have put his hands on her.
I don't think he knocked her teeth out though.
That's
man.
extreme, bro.
Like, you know how
That
hard you
is-
gotta hit somebody and knock their
Yeah.
teeth
No,
out,
you
bro.
don't have to hit. No, bro. You really don't have to hit somebody that hard, bro. I think it's real easy to lose a tooth, bro.
Especially with all
I've
the
chipped like
gingivitis now.
I've
I don't
chipped the
know,
bottom
bro.
of my tooth just on like
That's not it. That ain't
like
no-
that.
But they say
Yeah.
he knocked her
Ain't no
shits
play play,
out,
though.
bro.
That's
Like,
You're
In-
coming with some
yeah,
force
yeah.
there.
yeah, bro.
It's
That's
a
but a
sensitive
dude's
area.
punch.
bro. That's some Mike
I
Tyson.
think our light punch would
would
knock some teeth out, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't
if
know,
you get a
bro.
good hit in the front, I think like us just doing like pow,
Like playing
one of
around,
those.
shit.
I think I could take two front teeth out with that. I don't think a simple jab would
But
get
I don't
it.
think Fabulous can.
So
He's,
I think he
yeah.
did though. If he
You're
was,
a different
it's a
build from
possibility.
Fabulous,
It's super.
Right.
It's, I'm not ruling it out
Yeah.
because I think it's super easy.
Yeah, that upset me though. But it's okay.
But
They'll
damn,
work
that's
through
crazy.
it.
Hey, look,
Developing
they're
story.
married,
I
right?
need more. No.
Oh shit.
You know what's crazy? Like, I fuck up and ask the question. I'd be like, "What did she do to like to make him do that?"
That's-
Nothing,
you know,
but
that was-
nothing
And,
justifies.
and females
Yeah.
be like, "Why did she have to do something?"
I
and
know.
I'm just
I
like,
mean,
That
you
was
probably
my-
did, but nothing justifies you like.
But
being
honestly,
with
that was my
someone.
first
No, no, no,
reaction
yeah,
when I
yeah.
heard it was
not
fabulous.
in a
though.
justification
Mm-hmm.
point of view, but it's like,
No, but I understand exactly what you're saying
Yeah,
because
you know what I'm
sometimes like
saying?
when
I
that
don't
shit
know.
happens, like
You know
women
he got
do have
pushed to a
that
different
freedom
level.
to push
Yeah.
somebody like my fucking neighbors, push a guy to the breaking point because they know that if he does anything, he's still gonna be the one that gets fucking locked up. and
Yeah,
shit.
pretty
Right,
much.
right.
yeah.
I
Still.
mean, but even I don't know because I'm just like in that video, she was literally just pulling out her phone and he was lunging towards her. So I'm like, I don't know. Like, I
Well,
don't
no,
know.
this is the thing. I thought that same thing you thought, and the only reason I thought it that first is because of what I thought of Fabulous.
right?
That I
like,
so,
yo,
but say somebody else,
you
somebody
gotta
else
do
had.
some crazy
If
shit
somebody
to
else
make
had
Fabulous
allegations
come
like
out-
that,
come
like
out
I hate
His
to
name
use
is
Chris Brown.
Fabulous, goddamn.
Like
You
I
know
hate
what
to
I'm
use
saying?
Chris Brown's name, but if Chris Brown, if those same allegations came out about Chris Brown, we
Man.
wouldn't be like, "What did she do?" We'd be like,
Right, we'd be
"Goddamn,
like, here
Chris
he
is
goes
wilding
again."
again."
Again.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Chris out here losing his shit
I don't
again.
know.
That's what I would do.
You saw
Side
that
note,
tweet?
they did have a picture of him like playing with some girl.
still haven't
with her-
seen
with
that.
his hands around her neck.
They said it looked like
yeah,
he was,
yeah.
he was talking
I'm
about
like,
that too.
damn,
Who?
yo.
Who?
All these
No,
niggas.
somebody on Twitter was like, "That's a little dicky," and I lost it.
For real? Oh shit!
Still inside her.
Damn.
You saw that tweet?
I was rolling.
It was like somebody made the picture and like made it look like Fabulous tweeted it, and it was like, "I woke up in Chris Brown's body." That shit had me so fucking
That's
weak, bro.
terrible.
I was like, "Yo, he did not just tweet that."
Oh,
I went to
that's-
his Twitter and looked. I was like, "Yo, chill."
Oh, that's fucked up.
I was like, "I hope this is fake."
Damn, that's fucked
I
up.
love Twitter. Twitter's my favorite app.
We know. You love it. I need to
Twitter
get.
is
I try
my
to get on it,
favorite app.
but you
I
can get
love
lost
Twitter.
in it.
I
And
changed my
get
handle back
lost.
to Vadavelli on
I saw
Twitter.
that. I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think that I'm following enough of the right people. I think I got a good majority, but my thing doesn't refresh as often as I would like it to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like new
True,
content.
true,
and shit.
true.
The
You know
well,
what
the
I'm
way
saying?
they have it timed is weird too because
They do have the timing
they
all
have
over
it.
the place.
You have it in real time, but then you also have like you can see people's likes and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh, that's right.
it's weird when
It's
you're
got a
rolling
bunch of shit
through
on
it.
there.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
So they're wilding. They need to make an update for that shit.
I mean, no, Twitter's lit.
Snapchat
They
need
need
to
to-
figure their
yo.
shit out first.
Bro, I still got the old Snapchat on this shit. So
You haven't?
I'm
Big?
golden. I'm about to sell this phone for $2, yo.
For real?
It's got the old Snapchat
What?
on it.
Oh yeah, you know what? The value did go up on that
Bruh.
phone. Low key,
You know how many
might-
people would kill for
low-key-
this old Snapchat?
You're right,
here?
bro. Low key, you might be able to sell it to like Kylie, bro.
Facts.
Kylie Jenner. You
Facts.
just throw her a tweet and be like,
Facts.
I got an iPhone 10X, plenty of space,
Facts.
original Snapchat.
The big shit.
It should
What
be
you-
like,
what you talking about?
should be like, say no more. What's your PayPal?
Say no more, bro.
What's your Cash App, nigga? I'll
Say
shoot
no
that
more.
over. It's in the mail. It'll be
Here's
there
a cool
tomorrow.
meal, bro. Just give it to me. You know what I'm saying? And then we're on.
But hell yeah, man. Before we get up out of this music area, we'll do the ride out.
Yeah.
So for the ride out this week, I'm gonna just go ahead and do it, man. My ride out's the Cardi B track.
Oh,
Yeah.
this one?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
my
Yeah, man.
that's my ride out song for this week.
It was
Okay.
dope, man.
And you like to hit, here it go.
Yeah. If you would like to hear the song.
He's really like making that a thing. And
I love it,
You
bro.
like to
Yeah,
hit?
it's so fun. You like to hit, here it go.
And especially that would help you out with editing too. as
Yeah,
well to
it
know
do-
when to cut.
Perfect, 'cause it drops right
My
there.
nigga, it has helped editing through
Yeah.
the roof. You have no idea. All I do is literally wait for me to say that.
I'm
Boom, bow,
so
cut.
irritated.
Mhm.
I love it.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep going.
Shane, your song.
It's on you, brother.
My song. Yeah. Oh, here you go. Yeah, mine is gonna be "In This World" by Reflection Eternal. For those who don't know, that's Talib Kweli and producer High Tech together.
Damn, I almost forgot what that was. But
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
I
yeah.
listened to a couple of those albums. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
them
yeah.
shits are fire.
Yeah, yeah, and "In This World," I just picked it because in the third verse, he says something that kind of just like hit me. And the song itself is just sort of like about hustling, to get to where you want to be and shit. And
Yeah.
it has a cool boom bap, vibe to it. And in the last line in the verse, he says, "Talent don't mean nothing without all the practice." And I was just, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it just
That's
hit
bars.
me,
Yeah.
Man.
So I was just like, because in my line of writing and shit, I was like, yeah, I have the talent, but I just hadn't been practicing enough,
That's a
Yeah.
true ass statement, bro.
You can have all the talent in the world, but if you
don't,
don't work on your craft, you're not gonna get to
it's
where
not
you
gonna
wanna
get
be.
better. It's not gonna be where it's
So
supposed
it
to.
just hit me, I was like,
Yeah.
and I've been practicing my shit for fucking almost half a year, so that line just hit me. So that's my song of the week.
Hey,
Yeah,
Facts.
you like to hear it? Here it go.
yeah. It was a different inflection just
Yeah,
now.
yeah. You gotta change
have
it
a different one,
You gotta
yeah.
change it to match everybody's song.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
just-
saying?
yeah.
It's just different
Yeah.
ways you deliver this.
There's so many ways you can say
yeah. I'm a master at though.
Yeah, yeah.
It's still in the
It's like,
working phase. It's gonna get mastered.
it. If you wanna hear it. Yeah, that's great. So so that's mine.
Hot
All right,
mess.
you
Yeah.
got one, Leon?
Man, I didn't even think about it right out, honestly, man.
Okay.
Bring it back to me. I'll think about one though.
What's the last song you listened to?
It was some shit I
What'd
don't
you listen
know.
to
I
on
just-
the
I
way
was,
here?
I was just trying to listen to that new XXX Tentacion shit, so I don't know these records.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
true.
Okay.
So give me a second. I'll figure one out though. I'll look up what I've been listening to.
All right.
I mean, I'm fucking today. All right, bet. What was I listening to the other day at the crib, bro? wait, nah, because I was jamming in the joint. Anyway, all right, I have one in my mind.
Okay.
Turn Your Lights Down Low, Lauryn Hill,
Woo!
and Fire.
Wow.
It played a couple times at the crib.
Wow.
Fact is, it played a couple times at the crib when I was cooking some breakfast. And you were saying,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna call it right out. That shit hit, and I had to rewind it a couple times.
Yeah.
so I was,
I need you to do it
Yeah.
this time, but use your accent the right way.
oh man.
Yeah. We need you to do it. Yeah. I need that.
All right,
Y'all
so
are
turn, So hold on.
There we go.
So turn your lights down low. That's the Lauryn Hill joint with with Bob Marley really and Lauryn Hill. So
Yeah.
put that one out there. And about 4 times that day.
About four times.
About 4
About
times.
4 times.
About 4 times. Run the
Y'all
record
take
back.
just
Bullet.
y'all take just the perfect amount of words out of a sentence to make it sound cool. About 4 times. Like that's it. Like I listen instead
Nah,
of saying I listened to it
about
4
4
times that day.
times.
About 4 times that day. I know exactly what you mean, nigga.
You a fool, yo.
It's succinct.
But hey,
yeah.
You like to
record.
hit? Here it go.
Yeah. I didn't know he was gonna do it on everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone.
Why do you think I'm over here just, all right, whatever.
She can't believe it's happening.
She
That's
hates
why. It's
Over
consistent.
it.
All right, let's go.
My turn?
Your turn.
Thanks. Okay. Why are you looking at me like that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anxious to see your ride out.
Okay, so I was like literally riding in the car today. I went to go see family. So I'm going back to Overly Dedicated from Kendrick Lamar. She Needs Me remix. That's the one with Dom Kennedy.
Man.
And who's the other? I don't know. Yeah.
That's me on
Yeah.
page 40 in that magazine.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that
So-
one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I was today.
Yeah.
I went another place too. This is not another one, but I was in a place. I was in the fields today.
Somebody was like driving around.
All that. The Lady by The Game featuring Fabulous, Lil Wayne,
Off
and Big
the Church
Sean.
Project. Jesus
Mhm.
Peace
Yep.
album. Yeah.
That one. But yeah, She Needs Me.
Nice.
That's a good one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. You know I like that one.
Yeah.
You like to hit? Here it go.
Yeah. I know. I want to hear it right now because I was
Yeah.
just like, it's such a vibe. It's such a vibe.
You got one?
My ride out. All right, so the new weekend.
Mm,
All right, so
okay.
that shit just dropped the other day, and then when it dropped, I was on the phone and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna call you back. I gotta go listen to this shit for 25 minutes."
Not
But
for
it's-
25
yeah,
minutes.
20
This shit's 6 songs and it's 25 minutes long.
Oh,
But which
So-
one is the one for you?
Banged it. Listened to the whole album. The last song on there, "Patient."
Mhm.
Oh my god, bro.
That's
like
the
I
one?
said, bro. Like I said, he's taking us back to this old weekend. It's so fucking dark and it's depressing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, Selena Gomez fucked this nigga up, bro.
Or was
Holy
it Bella?
shit.
Or was
Oh,
it
that was the
Bella?
one that
Nah,
they were talking about
He's
was
talking
strictly
about
about
Selena
her, right?
Gomez. Because look, in one song, he says like, I almost cut a piece of my body for your life. And like, if you look back, like behind the
Yeah.
scenes, like Selena Gomez needed
Yeah.
a kidney transplant at
Yeah.
one point, and he was gonna do it for her.
Oh.
So he put that shit in his fucking lyrics, bro.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Wow.
But that
That's
last
crazy.
song, "Patient," is so fucking amazing. It's been on repeat this whole week.
That's crazy.
So
That's
if you want to
deep as
feel
fuck.
depressed and be in your feelings, and you want to
Love
hear it,
that.
hear it.
Sad
go.
music is necessary.
yeah.
No, sad music is necessary.
I love
too.
it.
Hold on, let me give a deep sigh before this one. You like to hear it? Here you go. All right, side note. Yo, that nigga is depressing, bro. That's
Yeah.
why
He is,
I
yo.
can't do it.
It's not depressing.
brings
it's
me
just,
down,
it's
bro.
dark. It's just
It's
dark.
so, yeah, it's too
It's
dark.
just dark.
Yeah, he's a dark Drake,
It's a
bro.
dark Drake. Yeah, it's a dark version of Drake.
But it's not dark rapping Drake, though, right? I like dark
No.
rap Drake.
I mean,
No, but
I like
Drake
all
ain't always
Drake.
Dark. He just feelings. He just in his
Yeah.
feelings.
Yeah.
You
So
saying-
think in your feelings, but
But
dark.
And that's weekend.
That's
Yeah.
scary, bro.
Like
I
with
try to stay away
suicide.
from that area.
No, but it's not.
Personally,
it's not,
that's
it's
why,
Not in a,
yeah.
it's not in a like. I don't think menacing like dark way. It's
Yeah.
just very twisted and
It's just,
like
if I get hurt like this too many
tormented.
times, I will hurt
Yeah,
myself.
like
Ooh.
it's
Yeah,
yeah, it's like
yeah, yeah.
tormented.
Oh, that's how it is?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this nigga Leon, this retarded.
But isn't testosterone like leans that way as well too?
Yeah, he does.
Lyrically?
In some of his
I mean, he
music.
does too. Yeah.
But
no,
it's
I mean
so-
in terms of yeah, like.
Oh, yeah,
what you
most
were talking
definitely,
about.
most definitely.
Yeah.
His was way more like, in your motherfucking face. Though. Like,
Yeah,
I'm a
he's like on
fucking
some
killer.
angry shit
yeah,
sometimes.
he's angry on that shit. Yeah, it's not really
Yeah.
calm and like fully thought out.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's the ride out.
All right. Shit, man.
Fuck out the way, nigga.
Yeah. Mama.
I'm so over it. I'm
Yeah.
over it. I'm done.
My sound effects are on 100 this week.
Yeah, yeah,
They are, yeah.
They're on 100 this week.
Are they?
Hey, look, they're on 100.
yeah.
It's on
We
you.
need to record these and like make the budget.
Just chop them up.
Yeah,
I know. I do
yeah,
want to
yeah,
figure
get
out.
a board.
I do want to figure because I want to.
Oh man,
Yeah,
we need
yeah.
that shit.
Yeah.
Especially when he
Oh,
does
is that
the
all?
Jamaican
Is that all?
accent.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we need.
Oh yeah. All
All
right.
right, movie news.
Yeah.
Donald Glover was supposedly working on a Deadpool show for FX.
Saw that.
FXX,
What?
I mean.
Really?
Yeah, and since last year he was been working and making negotiations, and apparently he was writing the script for all the episodes. So recently, FX came out and they said that he's no longer attached to the project. Donald Glover and his brother, who's Steven Glover, who apparently they worked together on Atlanta. And
A
shit.
lot of the
Yeah.
writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were like a writing duo thing. But supposedly, they said that he's not doing it anymore because Donald Glover he didn't have the time with all the stuff that he's doing.
Right.
So
Oh, okay.
a week later or so,
Mm-hmm.
Donald Glover came onto Twitter and he was like, "For the record,
Here's
I
the stuff I
wasn't
didn't
too
have time for.
yeah, I wasn't too busy for Deadpool." And he dropped like the last episode of the last season of what he was writing, the whole episode on Twitter. And it had like a bunch of references that was even referencing the situation that he was going through. It's like, why are they firing? What is it, a racist situation? And all that shit. Yeah. So, but it was the voice of Deadpool because he was writing for Deadpool. And, Deadpool always breaks the fourth wall and talks.
Yeah.
He knows like whatever he's in. He knows he's in a comic book. He knows he's in a movie. He knows he's
Right.
in a video game. That's why he would grab the life bar and shit. He knows
Yeah.
he's in whatever medium he
Right.
So apparently that he fired back at the network that Atlanta is on. So that's basically like his boss and shit.
Damn.
So
Right.
so he was just like, yeah, FX. Apparently they were lying
Unless-
about saying that I
yeah.
wasn't working on it, but I was, and I
Oh.
didn't have time for it. What the fuck are they saying? Okay, here's the whole episode, that I've been working on,
Right.
Oh, I didn't have time to write that shit. So he posts that
Damn.
shit out. So everybody's like, damn, there's some heat going on between FX and. He put out the script. Yeah, the last episode of the season, whatever he was writing for. Yeah, and then he
Damn.
proved it by
Yeah.
putting the whole script
Not
out. Oh,
only
I
did
didn't have time to
time,
write
nigga,
this.
I'm done.
No, he
Right.
must. Nah,
Exactly.
he must own some. I think he might. He
Has some
must.
stake in it.
Yeah, he got some stake in FX. I think he could take FX to the net. To
You know what? You're probably right.
Because you don't move
Because
like that if you just
Atlanta
if
is
you
a
can lose
hit.
your show.
Atlanta is a hit
Yeah,
on
if
their
you can
network.
do whatever you
Of
want.
course.
If he owns that 100%, or at least enough where he can move it if he
Yeah.
feels like it,
Mhm.
they probably like fuck up if you want to. Netflix about to get this shit.
Yeah.
yeah, like
That is so crazy.
and they will pay for it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know what's.
Netflix will cut a big check for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They could. Somebody else could come in and buy that shit.
Netflix is popping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm waiting to happen to Netflix, which I feel like is probably already happened, and I might be late. But I'm waiting for Netflix to have like their original series, come out and be like an air as a regular series. So they do their
Oh,
thing is,
every week. type
yeah,
of
their
shit?
thing is like
Okay.
binging, but I can see them coming out with a fire ass series
Mhm.
that they lock niggas
They-
into
well,
for like a
Bro.
cool
They
couple
do some of their
weeks
talk
on
shows
bringing out
like
like
that.
just like 2 episodes
Yeah.
a couple times or something like that.
Yeah.
And
They
so
do-
you can't
you
binge
said
the
they
whole
do
thing,
talk
but you-
shows?
So like
Chelsea,
David Letterman and shit like that.
Well, like Chelsea Handler, her
Mhm.
talk show had a thing where it came out weekly.
Yeah.
Is that still on
Yeah,
though?
yeah.
I did used
I
to see that
think
pop up a
so.
lot.
And David Letterman's joint.
And
But
they
not
gave-
like
I
actual
think they gave
like
one to Joel
storyline
McHale.
shows though, right?
Yeah, they
Who's
haven't done
that?
it for that.
Because they
shit,
probably
yeah.
film all them shits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
You know how
probably
many
but
people
they
that would
could.
piss off
They
if they
could,
did that
you know?
shit?
So-
They could do that.
No, but I'm not saying do it for all their shit. I'm saying if they come out with like whatever their next fire ass
Big
content is, that they're
showings.
just like, yo, this one is gonna hit. Like as far as the original, this one's gonna hit. Take that shit and put out like 3 episodes to start and be like every episode will come out. at
Could
this
you
point.
imagine if fucking Stranger Things season 3 came out and,
And
they
it
were
was-
like, "Oh no, we're only doing this every week." Niggas
Yeah.
would
That's-
lose their
Yeah, but that's
shit,
why
bro.
I'm not saying doing it to something that's already out. You're saying you do
Something.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
you
yeah,
got to be
yeah.
something that
Something that's
you
new.
only expect it from them.
Right,
Only
right, that they're
expect-
bringing
yeah.
out, and it's
Yeah, 'cause
like,
if
and
you
it's
take-
gonna
It
be
has
like
to
it's
be
gonna
a
be like
first season of it.
yeah,
It
yeah,
has to
it's
be
gonna be
first
like the
season,
first
first episode.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
gonna have
Yeah.
to pilot
yeah.
something, yeah.
But you know, like some people say that's sort of like the problem, a little problem with Netflix and all that stuff and binging and all that shit, because there's no more like water cooler moments. Yeah. You know, like you would
Oh,
have the
that's
shows that comes
true.
on all Friday, and then Monday, you know, you're all like, hey, did you see
Yeah.
that episode last
Yeah.
night?
You're talking
We don't
about
have
that
that
shit
with
all week.
Netflix because with Netflix, we're all in different episodes. Oh, I haven't even started the show.
That's
Oh, I'm
true.
at episode
True.
15. Oh, you're at episode 13. Don't
That's
tell me
good
this.
for
And-
Twitter people.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're all
Yeah,
over the
'cause I
place.
like
We're
to
not
live
having a
tweets,
shared
like, yeah.
experience with a
That's
show.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody to create a review without even getting time to process anything.
Yeah.
You can't say anything because everybody hasn't finished.
You
it,
said
know?
that's good for Twitter.
Yeah.
The-
I like
the-
to live tweet when
the
I'm watching.
binge-
Like,
oh,
yeah.
you're talking about doing
Yeah,
the
but
spaced
they're
out
doing
part.
it. Yeah,
Doing it
putting on a
spaced out.
schedule.
Yeah.
That's
And I feel like
Like
that
the
just
Kardashians.
creates like
You could
so
create
many,
more
like,
moments.
spoilers
The
for
conversation,
people.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's so many spoilers created off that shit because like somebody's already seen, like, just like when I was
You
when I was
stupid.
asking your sister before me and your mom were about to talk about The Shy.
Yeah.
I was like, before we start talking, what episode are you on?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
a
true.
courteous type of nigga.
That's
but
true.
Right.
But
I
yeah.
remember in Stranger Things, like I saw on Twitter, they were like, "Damn, why'd they have to kill so and so like that?" And I was like,
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
Oh,
you know the Denzel gift.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Malcolm
feel
X
that
one?
one.
Yeah, that was
I
me.
really
Yeah.
feel that one.
That was
When
me.
I see that gif, I feel it. Because he is pissed the fuck
No,
off.
Pissed
it's
the
not.
fuck
The one
off.
for me is the little black boy at the table.
We was like,
That's the one for
Seen
me.
that one. I don't think I've seen that one.
where he's at the table and the walls right here. And he's
You know,
like,
you used to just
he's
throw
sitting
your
there like
body
this
around
real
when you
quick.
were younger.
He's like,
Damn, no,
That's
I
the
haven't
one
seen
for
that.
me.
Yeah, it's that movie you make in your bed when you're like you just get in your bed and your mom calls you again.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you like
yeah,
and you
yeah.
like, bro, just like that. You like,
Yeah. Damn, I gotta see. Somebody gotta send that to me because I haven't seen that
oh man.
Okay, I can find it.
one. Yeah, damn, that's
I can find-
crazy.
That's the one for me, bro.
But you know what that just made me think about when you were like, you gotta ask what episode? Because
Mm-hmm.
I was literally thinking about, I was like, shout out to my boy Brandon J. This nigga will start with the ending of it. So
Oh.
he'll be like this. Have you seen Stranger Things? Like how so and so died at the end.
Oh,
Yeah,
bro.
bro. That's how. So you don't even
That's
get.
rude.
It's so. It comes so
Oh
quick.
my god, bro.
It comes so quick you can't even stop it before he gets there
Facts.
because it rolls right in. You get excited about what he just said, and then he tells you the ending, and then
Bruh.
he'll be like this. Have you seen it? You be like, nigga, nigga.
Nah, I don't have
He's
to.
doing the whole thing for you.
That's fade
That
worthy
nigga,
right
he
there.
rolls right into the ending, bro. It piss you the fuck off, bro. Ruin a whole movie for you, dog. Have you got, bruh? As soon as it gets to the part when this happens, you be like, I didn't know. First of all, those characters in my mind still hate each other. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I haven't even seen how are they gonna start beefing?
Yeah.
Man, that's
But imagine
fucking
like
terrible.
if Game of Thrones did that shit, where it's like all the episodes came out, and then like people on Twitter, you say, "Oh shit, so and so
But no.
So
But
much
what you
on
gonna
my
do though?
Oh,
I'm not.
Man, I'm running fades. If,
No,
if
no,
I
no,
hadn't
no.
seen that wedding and they were like, "Yo, you
But-
saw the part in Game of Thrones when y'all died at the wedding?" The
Oh,
fuck?
I haven't
Nah,
gotten
but
that far
look,
yet.
But it all depends on your level of fandom too. Because I know me, my level of fandom is I'm not gonna be caught behind. I'm probably gonna watch them all at one go. You know what I mean?
That's a
Like
fact.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like I just know who I am. I'm gonna
You
just
have
be
to,
like,
yeah.
I'm gonna call
Where
out tomorrow.
is
This
this
is what I'm doing.
When I
You know what I
started,
mean? Like, yeah.
when I started watching Game of Thrones, it was 3 weeks before season 4 was about to come out, and my boy
Okay,
gave me the first 3 seasons on DVD.
Gotcha.
He was like, watch these shits. Don't look on the internet. Don't get on
Yeah,
Twitter.
fact.
Don't look at anything Game
Yeah.
of Thrones related
Yeah.
until you watch all these shits.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
You found it?
Yeah.
Oh, that one. That one. Yeah, I have seen that one. I have seen
Such
that
a
one.
move.
Just fed the fuck up, just going crazy. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's
Like when
the
you're a kid,
one.
you just let that shit. You let all your feelings just go.
Because you can't picture an adult doing that.
Yeah.
shit. It's like,
Adults have moments
Yeah.
like that though. There are adults that have moments
There
like
has to be
that.
a
You
specific
you just
thing.
don't see them as often.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It probably happens in your
Yeah,
car a lot.
yeah, yeah.
In your car.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
It probably happens in the car for adults on a regular. They'd be like,
Oh. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be
Road
spazzing
rage
in
and
the
shit.
car now that I think about it. I'd be punching
Yo,
the shit out of my steering
I
wheel.
just see, for real? See, I don't get road rage like that. But you know what? I
It
just
won't
saw.
even be no road rage shit. I'll be driving,
think about
and it's some
something
shit that you think about that you
Oh.
forgot or something. You be like, fuck, I left my
What if
wallet at home, nigga.
Oh, okay.
What if that airbag eject on your ass?
Oh,
Just that last. You gonna wish you never punched that steering
then
wheel,
I'ma
bro.
do it again. Then I'll be
Silly.
mad as hell. And I'ma
You
do it again.
you just gonna be in there like
Yeah, punching the bag
trying to
itself.
deflate it.
Yeah.
But an airbag fuck niggas' faces up, bro.
Oh,
I,
and I wear glasses.
I
too,
hope I'm
shit.
never in an
Ow.
accident that's bad enough where I need the airbag because I know it saves you, but it does fuck your
Look,
face
we
up.
wear glasses
That
and
shit
shit,
got
man.
my
That
ass.
glass.
It's going.
Oh man.
Going on like 20-something miles though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it ain't that fast. Yeah, it don't have to be
It's
a
the
fast.
thing too. Like I drive like this, and when I wreck my car, the airbag deployed, and I hit myself in the face.
Damn.
I still didn't knock my teeth out, by the way. So
You didn't?
exactly, just
Ugh,
to
I
further
never
prove
want
my
to
point.
experience anything like
You know what I'm
that. I
saying?
think that's
you-
on my
but would
list.
you- would
I drive like that too.
But
I'm
would you?
like,
But
dang.
would you hit? But would you hit the? I don't know, man. The fist, bro. You hit
I mean,
it with
was
which-
kind of a fish.
with
like,
enough
I was driving
force?
like this, and the airbag came out.
the
like,
backhand.
My fucking mouth hurt like hell, like for a week after
Ow,
that
that sounds so bad.
shit. But yeah,
Maybe it is harder. I just feel like it's really easy to punch somebody's teeth out.
No.
If you get a direct shot, I feel like a jab.
checked my
would do
teeth on
it.
a fork.
nah, bro, it's kind of fucking hard.
That's what I'm
Look,
saying. You
like-
see what I'm
I
saying?
checked my teeth
Yeah.
on a fork a couple of years ago.
Oh, you like
Cause,
Hulk
okay,
smashing
'cause,
someone?
alright,
No
'cause,
way.
We've all seen like tremendous street fights and shit go down.
That's
I've
true.
seen niggas getting hit
Showcase
with some real shit,
Yeah,
and I haven't seen a tooth fly out.
You know what I'm saying?
I've seen niggas
I
get
don't
hit.
know.
I've seen niggas get
plenty
hit
of
with chairs.
No,
Shit.
but you know what it is though.
Just bang, just
I do be seeing it. I'm talking about the direct shot in the front.
yeah.
But I have
Your
seen
mouth like has to be open. Like your lip
I
can't
don't
even
think
be
so.
in the way for the extra padding.
Nah,
No,
it
I
doesn't
don't think it
have
has
to
to
be,
be
yeah.
open. But
I feel like maybe if your
I
lip
have
is
s-
up and they like directly
I
connect
don't
with your
think so.
tooth,
I've
that
seen
shit
it.
might come
I've
out.
seen a solid jaw hit and
Yeah.
the nigga spit a molar out. I've seen that a couple times in videos.
Yikes.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
Was it Mike Tyson or no?
No, it was just
Who the
regular
fuck was
regular
this?
street fights.
Mhm.
Like he caught him like right in a good spot that
Yeah.
knocked the molar or like
Yo.
a
Yeah,
kidney
you just
out
have to
the
get
way.
them good.
They need to find
in
that
spot.
nigga.
It just
Give
if
him
you
a
hit the right
contract.
spot, I don't think it requires that much force.
Yeah,
if you hit the
yeah.
right spot, that's what I'm thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Most of
Tender.
your opponent's moving if you punching a nigga, so
Yeah, you
that
might
all
miss
has
it
to be
and shit.
factored in. You know what I mean? But
We are way off topic.
Oh yeah.
not that
So
bad.
The
No,
new
we're
movie.
pretty far off topic.
Oh yeah, okay, a little bit.
Damn, we are.
yeah, actually.
This
Oh,
started
we
with
went from
movies.
Donald Glover to knocking teeth out. Yeah,
Exactly.
okay. Yeah, you're right.
All right, and then the last one.
Oh yeah, so the last one, it's not a review of the movie. I haven't seen Ready Player One.
Mama Bear.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to say.
That's what she has to. Hey, that's what she
No,
has to do.
but
She has
real
to get us
quick,
back on time. Yeah.
Women, this is a woman thing, bro.
Yeah.
When they can catch you fucking up,
That's exactly.
she has to give me the look like.
I do.
Yeah.
She just gotta give it to me.
Guys.
She gotta serve me
I
one
be
time.
stunning
Yeah.
you. I do. I be stunning you.
I'll
I
be
think.
like,
I do.
I'll be like, every time though, you don't get tired.
Yeah,
Like, we all felt the moment. We moved on.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean? You just gotta serve that last hit.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
All right,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
So with Ready Player One, I haven't seen it. And it looks interesting. Yeah, I think it might be this.
Yeah, it
Oh
just
yeah,
came
it
out.
came out on my birthday. Yeah, 29th. Yeah.
It looks
So-
fire. I just saw the trailer.
Yeah. And it has a lot of pop references in there and all that stuff.
What the fuck, nigga?
Oh,
2
what?
days ago was your birthday?
Oh yeah.
Facts.
What
God
the
damn.
fuck?
Hey, get the shine, yo.
Oh
What the
yeah.
hell?
Yeah. I'm
Where's
sorry.
Shine at?
By the way. yeah. By the way.
Yeah,
Well, you don't have to
hey.
take one, but I'm taking one for you.
Facts, bro.
I feel insulted that I did not know you.
Bro, what
it was
you
your
face? What'd you
birthday.
do, bro? What did you do, bro? What'd you do?
Fucking worked, man. It was a weekday.
Oh hell,
It was
bro, we gotta
Thursday.
do this. No, we gotta
was
go out for
Thursday.
drinks or something,
Oh,
bro.
I know.
Happy
Let's
birthday,
go, let's
man.
go to Boxcar.
Happy birthday.
Oh yeah,
man.
that'll be fun. Yeah,
I
we'll
got
go to
some
Boxcar.
tokens.
Because I haven't been there in a couple months.
I haven't either.
Yeah,
I haven't
we'll-
been there since Halloween, actually.
Yeah, we'll hit
That's
Boxcar
Halloween.
then. Yeah, we'll do that.
I'm
Yeah.
with all the shits.
Not tonight. No, not tonight. We'll plan.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
this-
so
this-
another
this
night.
weekend or
I
something.
dead ass
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
you were
They
talking
have
about
$3
tonight.
pints on what, Tuesday?
Oh, did you?
I feel like they just got the
Oh,
Sunday
wait a
deal.
minute. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
And
the dollar
they-
mimosas.
And then they also have a happy hour.
Yeah,
deal. So
yeah, they
depending
do.
on when niggas get off work, we might be able to hit.
I
them
just
in their
don't like
happy
it to be
hour.
crowded because I like to play games.
Yeah, cause, and
That's
sometimes
I just
low-key.
travel
Low-key.
to play games.
That's why happy hour is the best to go to from like 4 to 7 or some
I
shit
don't
like
want-
that.
no, I want to
Hey.
be. I want to go in there and play.
That
Yeah.
popcorn at Boxcar.
Buttery.
about
Oh,
goodness.
I never had
Talk
it.
about
Buttery
it.
goodness.
I never had it.
Talk about
It's
what,
good?
nigga? What?
What?
Yeah.
No.
That
Yo.
popcorn different, nigga.
Yo,
I'm
it's
going straight.
different.
It's
It's
perfect.
different.
Wow.
You know
Okay.
what? It's perfect. It's
Yeah.
it's how popcorn should taste every time you eat popcorn.
Like at the
but
theaters
it
and
don't
shit?
taste like that every time
don't,
you eat
bro.
popcorn, bro.
Wow.
Popcorn machine. Watch the shit make the popcorn.
I
fresh.
swear.
And just dig in.
Yeah.
Niggas just pull up. with
Leon,
a
you remember
spoon.
that night we were at Boxcar and I was just fucked up and like, bro,
On popcorn?
you don't remember that? Nah, yeah, on the drinks, but I was killing that popcorn,
Yikes.
bro.
Yeah, the popcorn is on point.
That popcorn is fire.
Just not
Wow.
for me.
Okay, I'm gonna try that
Just
shit.
not
huh?
for me.
That moonshine out for you.
Ready Player One? Oh yeah.
Oh.
Ow, ow,
Yeah.
ow, ow.
Let's take a happy birthday one real
Oh,
quick,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
we'll let
man.
you finish this. Happy
Yeah,
birthday,
man.
brother
Yeah.
Shane.
My G.
Thanks a lot, guys, man.
We taking
Yeah.
shots for
It's a good
Oh.
year. Oh
Yeah.
shit. There you go. Oh shit.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Water.
Thanks a lot, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have put hair on your chest,
Messy.
bro.
Shit.
Already got it, baby.
We don't like that.
I got one hair, man.
We like the smooth chest.
I feel like I'm about to breathe fire, yo.
Yeah. So what you actually did?
Oh,
I just felt the fumes.
God damn,
No
bro.
way.
I'm about to put this shit in my car, bro.
Gas,
For real like
literally.
It's
that.
Yes.
gasoline.
Like, for real, for real.
Yeah.
no! If times get hard, it will be motherfucking moonshine going. Just to get to if some zombies hit niggas running out of gas. I'm out
Yeah,
the window
yeah.
while the car moving still.
I cannot.
Back to you, my brother.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So
Then we'll
yeah,
bang
but thank
shit
you
out
guys.
after
Thank you
that.
guys
Yeah.
for the wishes. But Ready Player One, haven't seen it. I said that already like 5 times, right?
It's okay.
That's all good.
But I was gonna bring up the topic because this has been because of this movie, the topic of nostalgia has come up in terms of like nostalgia overload, and I was just gonna bring up,
Ooh.
I've started to notice it, like Hollywood is really jerking my, nostalgia
Our old
bone.
feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, lately, like
I'm
bringing
okay
back a
with it,
lot of
though.
shit from the 80s and 90s. I'm like, shit, everything is fucking coming back. Jurassic Park is back, and
Thanks.
fucking everything is coming back, and it
It
just
almost sounds like a lack of creative content too.
that it could be that too.
Yeah,
Or it could just be the start of the cycle again, because you know the cycle.
Yeah.
that's true. Everything
There's
comes
a
back
legit
around.
20-year
That's
cycle.
true.
They'll start remaking all this shit.
That's
Just
true.
remaking
Yeah.
everything.
Everything does come. Yeah, because every time I'm on Facebook, I'm starting to see memes talking about this came out 20 years ago, and it'd be like a 5
nostalgia
minute,
is hot right
You
now.
seen that? It'd be like
Yeah.
a 5-minute video of just like
Yeah.
movie clips and music videos and shit,
Or like
And then-
songs.
yeah, or
Yeah.
songs or something. Yeah, I've been
And
seeing
just
that a
bringing
lot.
back dead franchises from the 90s.
Yeah.
Roseanne is back and shit. And,
18 million
That's a
opening
high.
episode.
Yeah,
18
yeah.
million.
Crazy.
That's
uh,
insane.
there's
yeah.
another one that was
Wasn't
back.
into
Will
it.
and Grace and shit is back. So
Will
a
and
lot of
Grace is
90s,
back.
Crazy.
90s
Wait, what?
shit. Will and Grace.
Will and
old
Grace. That
90s.
came
Grace
back?
is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's been back.
And when
But-
is Hey Arnold movie supposed to drop, man?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
I
did
don't know.
that.
Coming back.
Shit, I
Yeah,
wonder
you
if they
did
would
that.
actually make a live action.
There's
Man,
certain-
they can make a live action movie of that nigga's
Look
head.
at that
Nah, they
football.
could.
No
Yeah,
way.
Yeah, how do you
They're
make that?
dead ass
happen?
about to drop a Hey Arnold movie.
Nah.
Actually, they
Live action,
could.
live
Actually, they could. They would just get. He wouldn't obviously have a head that
football
big.
head, yeah.
It would just be an oddly shaped
Shaped
head.
head, yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like
But y'all think about
we've
that
seen
shit.
niggas in real life
So
with
yeah,
odd shaped
but
heads.
picture
It-
I
Cone-
mean, nah, it's gonna be a cartoon.
Picture Coneheads and just turn that shit sideways. Is it
Facts.
like
Facts. They did it
Go
before.
away.
Now
Find somebody with a
that'd
real
be
head
out of
like that?
control. His dome was a football for real, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Back to you.
So
Rick.
yeah. So
Helga
With the
was in love
nostalgia-
with him, bro.
yeah, with the nostalgia
was.
thing, somebody brought up the question of how do you know, like, since like if you go to a movie that has a lot of stuff that you grew up with and all that stuff in the movie, are you able to separate like loving the nostalgia? Are you blinded by the nostalgia and still thinking that it's a great movie because they have stuff that you know in it, or are you able to look at it objectively and just be
From
like,
the quality of the
and
whole
be
thing.
able to see the quality of the movie and not be blinded by the nostalgia and all the shit you used to like when you were
I
kids?
never looked
How
at
do
it
you know
like-
the quality of something?
I'm not gonna look. I never looked at it like that.
Depends on.
I
the
never looked at it
discernment
like that, but
person.
nostalgia plays a big factor for me. So
Yeah.
like, I will let certain even if I see it, I'd be like, yeah, but fuck it, bro. It was still there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the fact that like, hey Arnold still dropped, bro. Like,
Yeah.
they could have done that better, but
Yeah.
I'll let nostalgia overweigh like lack of quality.
Like, if the
Yeah.
Hey Arnold movie sucked, would you be able to see that it sucked? Or you would
Now,
just
if it
like,
was completely
oh, it's Hey
terrible,
Arnold?
now if it was completely terrible, I will say it sucked, and I won't let nostalgia. So there are levels. If it's like middle to good, I'll let it slide.
Hey Arnold movie cannot be terrible, bro.
Yeah, there's
Right.
certain shit that can't be terrible.
But that's what
don't
it is.
see that. I'm not with that.
No.
What?
I just like the cartoon. Let's just
Yeah.
that's enough.
Oh no, like he's talking about like a cartoon movie. He's talking about
Yeah,
a
it's a
cartoon.
cartoon.
But
movie.
anything,
like, yeah, I was-
well,
but,
they already did that.
but any nostalgia
They're
is what
making
he's
another
talking
one.
about. He's talking
Why?
about any nostalgia. I'm just
That's
using
true.
Hey
That's
Arnold.
true. That's true.
The
But see-
for me, the classics are the classics.
That's the thing about nostalgia, though. It is just a certain level because it's like automatic bias once you hit like a certain like it's literally automatic
That's
bias.
true,
So
yeah.
Got you already with the whatever.
With just the fact that I
right.
saw it.
So to answer your question, I think that when it comes to nostalgia, if you use that, it's kind of like a cheat code to lower the quality of like what you have to put
That's
out.
true.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Like
true.
you can
Exactly.
you can touch on what people already felt.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Use that to kind of bridge the gap between
play on it.
between like
How long you think this nostalgia thing is gonna last? Because I have a plan that taps directly into that, and I
Yeah.
plan on using it.
Big ass.
Yeah, I don't know. They said like first of all, this nostalgia thing is not like a new thing.
Sorry,
what?
the extra large ones like that don't bite.
Oh, you're talking about a bug or some shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I know. Look, I know I taste sweet, so I'm concerned.
No, but yeah, but this nostalgia craze is like not nothing new. Like this has happened before, especially in the '80s, when in the late '70s and early '80s, when around that time they were really like obsessing over the '50s because you look at Back to the Future, it takes place in the '50s. Grease takes
Oh.
place in the '50s.
Damn,
you know.
that's true.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
didn't
so
think of that.
because you have to think like everybody who were kids in the 50s grew up and became filmmakers and shit and in entertainment by the 80s. So then they
Okay.
were like, "Hey, I missed the 50s. Let's make all that shit." Now because everybody my fucking age is filmmakers and creators now and we
Right.
miss the fucking 90s and shit.
Nigga Shane be dropping bars.
Yeah.
Insert gif here.
y'all seen The Wood, right? It's
Yeah.
my favorite movie.
Yeah.
That boy got knowledge.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
think about that.
Yeah, so
Damn.
all my generation, all this shit, we're really like in
the people out here
we're
working
making
right
this
now.
shit, and we
Yeah.
miss our time, so we're bringing this back. But then at the same time, I think the studios are really feeding off of that as well. Like, oh, the '80s right now, you got Stranger Things, you got It, all in the '80s and shit, you know. So the '80s are really strong right now. I think maybe the '90s will get even stronger in like a year or two. Yeah, and the
Oh,
early
that's good
2000s.
then. That's good.
And think about all the people who were kids in the early 2000s. Maybe by 2020 something, maybe 2029.
That means when
that
we're
shit'll
like,
be come back. You know.
that means when niggas is like 40, 50, we're gonna be seeing the mumble rap coming
Oh.
back like that.
I'm
This
a-
culture.
Like, you out here lit.
Turning up with
no,
my
that'd be
kids.
crazy.
Exactly. Like the kids today who are into mumble rap, like when they get older and shit, and who knows if mumble rap is even still around? Maybe there's
It'll
hip.
still be around. It's catchy.
We thought the snaps were gonna be around. That's not.
Real quick, I don't want to.
yeah. Shit, that is
Fuck
shit.
that. I still play Crank That Batman in my
Hip-hop
car.
change- Hip hop changes
the
every
one.
15.
Said Batman.
Yeah,
That's the
but
one.
hip hop
Let's
changes
see
every
what
15
we
to
came
20
up
years. Hip hop changes.
I didn't want to
Yeah.
cut you off
Oh, yeah,
if
yeah,
you're
but-
done, but that
yeah,
made
go
me like pose a question that would be like a good question for everybody.
with.
Just this, I guess I'm gonna just say the question. So,
Or ask.
when do you think you've grown? You've gotten every, you know, how things have been changing through every generation, when culture wise or
Yeah.
hip hop culture or just culture period.
Mhm.
When do you think you've reached the point, or when you will reach the point where you stop giving a fuck about what's newly being created and like trying to accept it and learn what it is?
I think when
Do you
you
know what
reach
I
your
mean?
30s, I think when you reach your 30s, that's when you start to notice that the majority of music doesn't pertain to you anymore. Because the
Okay,
music
okay.
is for like 20-somethings and below and teens,
Yeah.
even movies, you know?
Yeah.
But you look around one day, when you get into your 30s, you look around and you're just like, shit, nothing pertains to me. Like, nothing is speaking to
Okay.
me at
So
my age right
got
now,
Right.
you know?
So 30 might be an age for a lot of people.
I think that's when
they-
you realize, that's when you start to feel, oh, somebody said
Yeah.
that in a meme,
That's
they were
what.
saying
That's
like,
almost what I'm asking.
when
you
you're getting
feel like-
older,
when you're getting older and you're like, I can't get with that. You start calling some shit young shit. Because technically people our age are calling mumble rap some young shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Because these niggas are 14, 15, 16,
yeah, yeah,
17. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
some of them barely legal.
no, when you
But,
guys
like,
get into, yeah.
In what aspect are you speaking though? Because I mean, I feel like there's
So,
different,
like, you
there's different
going-
categories you can put that in.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm thinking of the aspect of you seeking out and really willing to learn this new thing that just got created.
True.
That's
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
I
that's
mean,
what I'm talking of.
You could put that in different categories too, because
That's
like there's
true.
like video games. Like I feel like
Yeah.
That's
I'll
true.
be playing
It could
video
be-
games till I'm fucking 75. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I'm
So
copping
I'm
every
think-
new console that comes out.
Okay, so I'm thinking. I was thinking of more a general range when like you kind of set into, like you see an old person, you be like, they just set in their ways. What
Yeah.
age did they set in their ways almost?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like our parents who just listen to soul music because they can't get into hip hop and
Like
shit.
when did they probably just get set in their ways in pretty
Yeah.
much most aspects, except something they really love, like video games.
Yeah.
Where they'll actively, it don't matter what the fuck going on, I'm
Yeah.
actively gonna see that shit.
I think it's still your 30s. I think my mom and them, they were like 30 in the 90s, so I'm sure like
Yeah.
And I grew up on soul music, and that's all I used to hear because that's all they were playing because that's what they grew up on. You know, so by the time they got 30s, they were just like, I don't understand this rap stuff.
But that makes sense though because I'm 27 and I feel like mumble rap, I got maybe one more generational change and I'm probably not gonna be able to handle it
You're
again.
not gonna get down with the shit.
I don't think so because it took me like a couple weeks to months
Yeah.
to fully understand what I hate to say whatever mumble rap, whatever. You know what I mean? Y'all niggas
Call
know
it
what
what it is.
We'll call it whatever it is.
SoundCloud
So
rappers.
that new shit, like
Yeah.
it took me months to even get acclimated to that. The
Yeah.
next wave will probably take me a couple months, and I'll probably be like, "Fuck it, I'm tired."
Yeah.
Like, find somebody
I
that
think
can.
I'm
you know what
already.
I mean?
I think
Yeah.
I'm already there where I'm just like, not.
You feel like you're
interested.
there now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say I think that a lot of times we're already there, but
Yeah.
it just depends on where you are in life to where you're gonna be like, I want to actively take a chance at figuring this shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like after a certain point, I'm dead ass. I feel like after
know
a
what you're
certain
saying.
point, you're just gonna be like, certain shit gonna come together for you. Certain shit gonna be in pocket in place, and you're gonna be like, I can't even deal with that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I feel like that's all it is.
Okay.
Niggas is still on the grind right now, so we gotta pay attention to everything.
That's why
You know
I'm
what I'm
still paying
saying?
attention to everything.
Yeah.
Because if I'm trying to get it in this industry, I don't care if I don't like it or not. I gotta know what it is
Yeah.
and fully know it more than
Give it
just.
an opportunity, like give it a real chance, and like keep listening.
Because
to
I've been
all-
able to
everything with
like
open
sort
mind,
through.
you know
I
what
can
I'm
listen
saying?
to 400 SoundCloud rappers and just be like, I can rate trash in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like I might think it's all trash, but I can tell you which was the hottest garbage in here though. You know what I'm saying?
The hottest
Facts.
garbage.
The
Yeah.
flaming trash can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
I think late 20s, early 30s. That's when you start to feel
27 to
You
30,
know,
26 to 30.
you
somewhere
feel
in that
a little
range.
detached from society. You know, this society is not aiming for you as the demographic.
Right.
It's aiming for people younger than
Damn,
you.
that's true. Everything was marketed
Right.
towards us up
It's
until
20
this
something
age.
and below. Yeah.
Because there ain't that many rappers. Maybe that's why I'm starting to like more of the boss rappers, the Nipseys, the Jay-Z's,
grown men.
the fucking
Yeah.
shit like that. Because
Grown
they,
men.
the Rick Ross, they talking to niggas like me. I need to hear a certain level of.
But that's kind of where it gets to the point where you're supposed to like grow with an artist.
And that's
Yeah.
and that's the other thing, you know, this genre. When we talk about this culture and this genre, this shit is still very young in comparison to a lot of shit out there.
Right.
So like, this is now the first time that we've allowed to been like, the early people who started this shit are now like older,
Right.
and like the genre has grown to the point where there's probably still going to be content for everybody who still fucks with hip hop at a certain age. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to be a different type of
Right.
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Shout out to real quick, and we can just end this whole thing. This
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
has to
'cause
do
I'm
with
done.
movies.
That was
But Rapture on Netflix is like the Rapture original Netflix original. It's 8 episodes or 6 episodes. They take a different rapper, Logic, Rhapsody, Davies,
G-Eazy.
Nas,
I think I heard about that.
G-Eazy.
I think I heard
And it's an
Chainz.
hour-long episode, almost about not even about it's kind of just them, like 1 hour. We get to
Yeah.
hear about their background life,
Yeah.
how they got into the rap game, their struggles through the rap game, and then where they're at now. So
Okay.
1 hour episodes for each of
Love
these
it.
artists. So I think it's Rapture, right? Yeah, Rapture.
Okay.
Pretty
Yeah,
fire.
check that out.
The 30th. It
Yeah,
just came out
it just came out.
like
It just
that.
came out. Yeah,
yesterday.
it just came out, and it's fire. I saw the Logic and the Nas and Jay-Z
Wait a
episode.
minute. Wait a minute.
Logic,
Netflix?
Netflix.
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 Yeah, not
Actually,
Amazon.
one day.
Okay.
I'm tripping.
Nah, it's Netflix
Wait a minute.
original.
You're right. Yeah,
The
yeah,
Netflix
yeah.
original.
Because I saw one about.
Time is slipping away from me. I'm Casey and JoJo right now.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, on Netflix. Yeah.
Netflix, yeah,
I
it
think
just came
Rhapsody is gonna have one, right?
Rhapsody has a whole hour episode.
That's the commercial I saw for her.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
haven't
those
watched
are
it yet.
that's the promotion you've been seeing on
Yeah,
Instagram.
that's
yeah,
why I said
because
I
it's
heard
all
it.
over Instagram. So Rhapsody,
I gotta check it out.
Ti, Davies, Nas, Davies and Nas are episodes together. Logic's the first episode.
I like Logic.
His story's depressing. It's like listen, it's
real.
depressing, bro. Oh my god, it's sad.
Oh,
dog.
For real.
It's sad,
What's sad
bro.
about it?
This nigga went through some real shit. This is
Yeah.
the thing with him. He did go through some real shit. I watched the whole thing. I'm like, my nigga, your upbringing was different, bro. Like,
Word?
yeah, his upbringing was different. I mean, he said his mom had like his mom was crazy and abused him, and a different abuse, not I whoop your ass every day. He said there was a point of time when she did a thing where she wouldn't let me sleep for weeks at a time.
Damn.
So he'd be trying to go to sleep as like a young kid, 5 to 7 to 8 years old, and as soon as he's about to doze off, she'd be like, "Wake up!" So
Damn.
like rough shit like that, you know that your mother, bro. You know what I mean? So like he did. His dad's a drug addict, you know, like all type of shit, crack on top of that, like not just some light drug, crack, you know, like. So it's like, but that's the nigga sad.
Thank
bro.
goodness he became
Never
a
knew that
rapper.
about
Shit.
Logic, bro.
They
Yeah,
have
yeah. His
stories.
story-
They
his
have
story-
stories.
Yeah, his story is insane. It's just it was so depressing to watch, but it was well put. These episodes are put together very well, but
Right. Netflix is doing it.
but that's why I think that's another reason why I don't like. I try to stray away from artists who just talk about sad shit all the time. Bro.
But if that's their
Like,
story,
But if that's the story, that's not for me because I can't
well,
be.
that's
I
fine.
don't. Yeah, and that's just
fine.
and that's just what
and
it
there's
is.
nothing wrong with that.
It's not that
Yeah.
I feel like Logic is any less of a
Logic
rapper
has some
because
lit shit too.
But I
he's
think-
got some lit shit, but
someone has to hear
majority
that
of it.
story too. Like it's like that
It's-
story's
it's
dark,
important
bro.
for
It's
someone
dark,
to
yeah.
connect
Or in
to.
small
If you have a
doses.
story like that and you're a rapper, I feel like
That's a
you're
story.
obligated to talk
That's a
about that
story.
shit.
Yeah, that's a story.
But
that
I
people
feel like
should
there's a
hear.
cutoff point.
There is a cutoff.
I feel like
And-
there's a
and
cutoff
that's at
point,
his
and I
discretion.
and I feel like Logic. I
That's
feel
at
like
his
He's
discretion.
exceeded.
I do. I feel like he's exceeded that point, and it's like I get
Someone
it.
needs to hear
Your
his
first
story.
2 albums, maybe major release
Someone needs to
albums.
hear it.
We don't need that by 3, bro. I'm tired of the biracial struggle. You know what I mean? Like I get it. Life cannot. You cannot seriously be thinking about this still at that point of life. Like
Right.
if these niggas want to accept you, bruh, you're an adult right now. Fuck them, bruh. Keep it moving. You're successful. You got a wife. You know what I mean? You
Well,
that's
well.
not that's true. That's not happening right now. But I'm just speaking as if everything was peachy keen. How
yeah,
it,
but
you know what I mean?
everyone's struggle is different.
I can't tell
And as
somebody
an
what
artist,
to do either. So
that's
you know,
how
I wonder if
he-
everybody thought the same way
He
about Eminem when they were like,
interprets
"Oh, the third album, you still talking about killing your wife?"
Right.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
that's
sorry,
true.
Mom.
That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
I just, whatever. The music's good.
That's true.
But
That's
Eminem
it.
was like, I'm still out here like struggling, bro. Like I'm depressed out here. No matter how much money I have, I'm still going through shit. You
They
know what
all
I'm
say
saying?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah,
that
that's-
just goes to show you like
Money
the
can't
married
buy
life might
happiness.
suck, bro. Because Logic went
Nah.
through all that.
I don't
shit
think it's the married
and
life.
then got a divorce. Like
I'm so over it.
What?
Hey, they said that man just tried to flex his.
I don't.
What happened?
I don't know. Like for me, the topic of marriage, like
Oh,
that's why you don't marry just anybody. Like
did he
Man, that
marry
man
just
got a
anybody?
bag and he was like,
I
"I need
mean,
to
I don't
test these
know.
powers out."
I mean, I agree. I'm
Easier
picky.
said than done.
I'm choosy.
But I mean, bro, like you went through nights, sleepless nights, where your mom was waking you up and not letting you go to sleep,
That's different, bro. That's
abusing the
fucked.
shit out of you.
Like,
But
on
you couldn't
top of-
handle your wife. Nigga. What did
People
your
are
wife put you
weird.
through
Nah,
that
but I'm
made
not
you
gonna
like,
lie,
yo,
bro.
I gotta
People
get
are
out of
weird.
this.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. The way he was talking, I completely understand where Logic is coming from. He's a workaholic. I understand it, but I can understand how that could tire a nigga out.
gonna
I'm
have to watch that
tired.
shit.
You know what I'm saying? I'm tired from 1 hour. You gotta live with this nigga, and he's on, and he's moving like this all the time.
I'm gonna have to watch
That shit for her it might have been mentally exhausting. I don't think he hasn't fully, become at one with himself yet. Because
But I heard he divorced her.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he divorced
she,
her. That's what I'm saying.
she might not have been able to. He might have been.
They said he got 30 mil bag.
Yeah.
And he was like,
And
"I
chuck
need
the
to test
deuces at
these
his wife.
superpowers out."
Oh man.
He was like,
I don't think
Why?
Logic don't.
Man.
After you watch this episode, Logic don't move like that.
I'm just playing,
Logic
bro.
don't move. He
I'm just
moves
playing,
different, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he moves
I
different.
like him. I like
Yeah.
Logic.
I'm literally just
Like him
playing.
as a
I read
person.
that
I
Like
like
him,
his music.
yeah, but I like him as a
Logic's
person.
cool.
But I'm just not gonna listen to his music.
I like
But
his music. Bobby Tarantino too was.
Yeah, that's true.
It was hot. It was hot.
I listened to it.
I gotta listen to it.
It was
Yeah.
pretty dope. And there was
Mhm.
2 records on there. I can't think of the one. I think it's Political. But it was two records that's pretty fire on there. Like 100%.
I like
Just
Erica
flame.
Indica.
Yeah.
That was good. Or Indica Body, something like that.
but shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all for movie.
Yeah, let's get the
news.
fuck about. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
that was movie.
It's been a.
No, but I liked it. Yeah.
All right, so we got 2 more
Are
things
we
we need to
jumping
get.
there or what?
Got to what?
Oh,
shit.
go ahead.
Oh,
We got 2 more things we got to get to, so
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna let y'all know we got 25 minutes left.
Okay,
so
cool.
we got
Okay.
2 more things we need to get to. We're gonna bust this fashion down real quick because there's been some changes in fashion,
Cool.
and then
Y'all want to talk about fashion?
and then we're gonna jump to to
Shoot.
brackets. Then we're gonna do the
Yeah.
what was the name of it?
Millennial Kid Show.
Millennial Kid Show bracket. We're gonna bust that out. So yeah,
For the longest time, I didn't know I was a millennial.
what happened in fashion, my
We
G?
can talk about some fashion, yo. I mean, we can talk about streetwear versus like high fashion. You know what I'm saying? You're a fashionable person. You know
Thank
what I'm
you.
saying? So,
I try.
what do you think? How do you feel like the streetwear game is where it's at right now?
like in general,
Yeah.
as far as like in Raleigh, in
in the
media.
whole world. In the whole world.
I think streetwear is going in a direction where people are trying different things and people are being more expressive, which I'm here for. I'm all about piecing some weird shit together and calling it fashion.
Yeah.
Because that's how someone is really stylish. So just a couple things I see. I see some things that are trendy that I kind of want to get into, but I think about, just putting your own twist on it too.
Do y'all get down with the trendy stuff? Do you try
Yeah.
to keep on top of every trend?
I mean,
No,
I try
I
to
just-
stay away from the trends
No.
because it's expensive, and that's literally the reason why I try to stay away from
I
trends.
don't know. I kind of do my own thing.
yeah,
always
same.
Yeah,
Trendy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
The only time
I
I
do my
followed
own
the
thing.
trend was
I feel
Bugle,
like-
the whole Bugle Boy thing in the 90s.
yeah, for sure.
Bugle Boy.
Bugle Boy, what was that?
That was a brand.
The jeans, yeah.
Br-
You remember
Jeans and
Bugle Boy
shirts.
brand?
That sounds
was
familiar, but
Yeah,
for
it's
some reason
old,
I'm
like,
thinking.
yeah.
But all I can ever think of, every time you say Bugle, I think of the chips Bugle.
Oh,
That's all
Which
I'm
are lit
thinking.
as well.
Which were popping. I fuck with Bugle
Bugles
chips.
are popping. They're good. Yes.
Oh, what was
yeah,
the?
that was better.
What was
hell
it?
yeah.
What was it?
Hell
What was
yeah.
it? What was the jeans? Paco jeans.
Paco.
There
I
was a
think I
lot of
remember
Do you
that.
remember
Yeah.
Paco jeans?
Yeah.
Was it
Yeah,
Paco?
I
And
remember
it
Jinko
was,
jeans.
it was a dude with a Timberland. Like it was,
Ah.
it was an embroidery of him like stepping his Timberland on some shit.
Yeah.
Paco was the
Wow.
shit.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
Yeah.
like, these days, like, it's a lot of like, it's all brand shopping. People are just wearing like certain brands and stuff
No, I'm
like
not
that,
into that.
and it's like, the brands are like getting crazy. It's like it's going out of hand.
so
The
you're saying
streetwear
there's
is,
more
like,
brand? There's just like new brands keep popping out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it's just like changing. The streetwear is like turning into the high fashion.
Mm.
Yeah.
Where all these
Yeah.
brands are just getting
That's
like
what you-
really
okay.
expensive.
Yeah.
Because you remember back in the day, like there was Karmaloop, and like
Mhm.
everybody
Yes.
was on Karmaloop. You could go on Karmaloop and like search by brand and just like
Right.
look at all the
Yeah,
logos
yeah,
and see
yeah,
what was
yeah.
out and shit.
That's true. Yeah.
And like there's no more Karmaloop now.
I've been on Karmaloop in so long.
Right.
There's no more.
There's no
Karmaloop
more.
now.
ASOS wouldn't be
It's not
that.
even there.
ASOS is different.
Remember Jack
You
Dress?
can't
Yeah.
get
Jack
it.
Dress
You
was
can't get
popping,
as
though.
much as you could on Karmaloop because Karmaloop have variety
Right.
through that.
ASOS
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
separated through like brands. You know what I'm saying? ASOS is like their own brand. It's like
Yeah.
the H&M.
They
you
do
know?
have their.
Right.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So whatever happened with Jack Threads, they still popping?
I mean, Jack
That was a
Threads
website,
was
right?
Jack
Yeah,
Threads
Jack
was it was like a sub website of Karmaloop, where Karmaloop
Was
put
it?
all their sale stuff on Jack Threads.
They did. I had no
Yeah.
idea because Jack Threads. You put me on the Jack Threads actually, and your boy from
ab-
yeah.
I forgot about
yeah,
it.
look, no, your boy from Chapel Hill that went to Chapel Hill, like Kevin or Kenny or something like that.
Shit.
I don't remember. Anyway, he
Sorry,
put you on,
sorry,
he put it on
bro.
me.
You
And
know I
Jack
know you,
Threads-
but I just
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
it's just-
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
But Jack Threads was pretty fire. Like it
Of
was.
course.
Yeah, Jack Threads. Had
That's
a
where
lot
you
of-
get all the fire shit. Like you get LRG up there, you get Crooks and
Yeah.
Castle,
Yep.
and like
Yep.
yeah, and
You
like
get everything
all
up
that
there.
crazy shit. But like now, it's like people aren't even wearing that.
All right, so yeah, because that's something I noticed because we were talking about that a little bit earlier. So like the No Jumper podcast is the reason why I started paying attention because they started doing they would do what they call them. They would rate niggas streetwear. Long story short, because
Oh, yeah.
they're like big in streetwear.
Uh huh.
I didn't realize how many fucking brands. So I'm from the generation when I was following streetwear. It was the hype beast that you went to hype beast every day,
Uh huh.
and then you went to FM Goods and Sounds and
Uh-huh.
downtown. You know what I mean? Like the hundreds was the shit for me.
Exactly.
That like the Supreme just shit took over, and then I see
Exactly.
there's like a whole bunch of other shit taking over.
Yeah.
But now they're doing the collaborations with the fucking designers now.
Exactly. It's like all that streetwear stuff is turning into the high fashion stuff. 'cause,
Right.
Oh, you know
you know what
why?
I'm saying? Save for like Bathing Ape, they're like one of the last few streetwear that'll always
They're
be
gener-
around.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
Billionaire
yeah.
Boys Club is in that
They
same
yeah
circle.
they made
You
it
know,
through plenty of
Supreme is like
generations.
that, but it's like you said, like Supreme is collaborating with Louis Vuitton now. You know what I'm saying? So all that stuff is crossing over,
Yeah.
and it's like
It's the power of the culture, bro.
exactly,
Hell
it's the power
yes.
of the
Power
culture.
of the culture.
Yeah.
Hell yes. I love it.
It's crazy.
Do you think it's because they changed their business model? Are most of these street brands doing the same thing that Supreme's doing? Because Supreme will just drop 50 T-shirts or
Yeah.
200 or 300, and then you'll never get it again. And the resale is crazy.
Yeah.
So is
I
that
mean,
what?
everybody carries that model nowadays. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
you have to at this
Yeah,
point, right?
like if
Okay.
if you're making shit that people wear,
Right.
Yeah.
nobody this day like wants to wear something that somebody else is wearing down the street.
Right.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying?
true.
They're
That's
like
so
so
true.
and so on TV wore this, and I'm wearing it, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? For my whole city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. Maybe you and another nigga in the city got it. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
That plays for like sneakers and like actual clothing pieces. You know what I'm saying? Like that Louis Vuitton Supreme shit. It's
Right.
damn near impossible to get that shit.
Yeah, the real one.
Yeah, the real
Got
one.
Of course.
Yeah.
several knockoffs.
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah.
Louis Vuitton Supreme everywhere, but I know
Yeah.
it's not real because
And
the
that's
price
why
tag
like,
is
the
way
knockoff
too.
makers are capitalizing because they're like, we can make that shit. You wanna
Because it's
wear
so
it?
hot.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Right. terrible.
And like speaking of Louis Vuitton and streetwear, you know what I'm saying? Like Virgil Abloh, like he was
He just got
yeah,
Collaboration.
like he made like the craziest like streetwear like name brands. Like he had Pyrex, and then he made Off White, and like all the celebrities.
Pyrex was his.
Yeah, Pyrex
Got you.
was his.
So that
and
was
like
his
you know,
first one?
Kanye wore Pyrex. So
Yeah,
that
I
became
remember
popular.
Pyrex. Yeah.
And then Kanye was like, "Oh, by the way, this is the guy that makes Pyrex." You know, so he like kind of put him on, and then he
Yeah.
made
Gotcha.
Off White, and celebrities were just like they're
Blew
still all
up.
wearing Off White and
Yeah.
shit. But now Louis Vuitton recently, you know, made Virgil Abloh their creative director and stuff.
It was like head of menswear.
And the
Exactly.
first
So,
black
yeah.
creative director on
The
top
first
of that.
black creative director for Louis Vuitton.
Because Louis Vuitton has had those allegations where they don't let black people in for a while. All those,
Exactly.
not only Louis Vuitton, but all those high fashions,
Exactly.
Gucci, Louis, Prada, all that.
And
shit.
now like
Oh, yeah.
they're like nah, fuck that. We're letting them in because you know what I'm saying all that shit is popular.
They finally
Right.
realized.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right.
that culture is taking over.
Exactly.
Crazy. I love it.
Yo, what did niggas like Ian Connor do? Did they really change shit like that?
I mean, they're just influencers. Like Ian
Right.
Connors, like he has like a huge influence on like what people like and what people want to wear. So like if he's gonna wear something, he has such a huge following that they're like, we're gonna dress like that.
Right.
Oh, okay. He has such a following around. He was dressing Kanye for a while too.
Yeah,
right?
like him and Kanye were working together and shit. And it's like, you know, that whole like the granddad sneaker wave and shit. Like that shit became popular because of all of them.
I love it.
You know what I mean?
Oh, got you. I
That's
was
why,
wondering
like,
how close he was to
Balenciaga's
things.
making granddad sneakers, and they're like stupid expensive. When you can get stuff, you
They
could
look
got
terrible.
Stuff like that looks just like that. Like you know,
I used to wear
for
those to
Jesus.
Goodberry's when I
Skechers.
worked
Exactly.
there. Costco
Skechers.
shoes. Nigga. Yeah.
Exactly.
Orthopedic style.
Yeah, orthopedic. Yeah, orthopedics.
Sold
And Nick-
out the room.
I was
boy.
thinking
Nick-
about
Right.
Niggas just adding expensive fabrics to it
Right.
and putting a logo on it. And it's fucking 4
Branding.
racks.
Oh no! All you gotta do
It's
is
just
slap a
branding.
Balenciaga on there, and you're good.
That's crazy when you have that much power with just your name.
brand.
Your brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
name
Yeah.
brand,
Yeah.
Goals.
Like you
It's
just
wild.
slap it on there and every come on.
Goals.
You put a T, just you get a T and you put your brand on that shit on that level and you sell that bitch for $90. It's a
And
t-shirt.
sell it out.
It's a
Right.
fucking
Brought
t-shirt.
it from Walmart.
Right.
Yeah,
And
these
that's
shirts.
like that's what Virgil was doing. Like with
Yeah,
Pyrex,
yeah.
he was buying like Champion T-shirts or Champion hoodies and putting his print on them, and then putting the Pyrex tag in it, and like selling it for like $300 for a hoodie. And
But that
niggas was
just goes
buying
to
the shit.
that just goes to show you like how are we blinded by brands and not exactly what it is.
Of course,
We're
we're
100%
blinded by the
blinded by
brand and
brands.
like who's wearing it too. You know, so we want to.
There's a lot of different things that go into play.
Yeah, because the brand is a lot. But like the different. There's like streetwear niggas, and then there's high fashion niggas.
Yeah.
The
I
high
don't know. I feel like
fashion
there's a
shit's
fusion of it with like when I think rappers.
You feel like
and
it's
their
become more of a
fashion-
fusion recently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
the
when I look
gap
at
is
2
getting like
Chainz.
really close.
Well, I don't know. Look at 2 Chainz, and he'll put on like a Gucci tracksuit, but he'll put on like a nice trench coat or something with it. Like they're mixing streetwear and high fashion.
Yeah.
That's
I
how
love
the gap
it.
is getting so close, and it's getting so close that like the high fashion houses are like, well, let's work with this
Right.
streetwear brand.
Right.
Louis Vuitton and Sephora,
Right.
for example.
I'm here for athleisure. I love it. It's a look.
Yeah.
I'll be doing that shit myself.
What's it called?
Athleisure.
Athleisure.
Mm-hmm.
So athletic wear that's leisure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of shit is athleisure?
Oh, I live for athleisure. Yeah, I'll do like a yoga set with pumps, or like a yoga set with sock boots and a jacket.
You know how like Kim K, like,
Yeezy
she'll
season.
wear, like,
Athleisure.
sweatpants, high heels,
Yeah.
and shit.
Hey yo,
Athleisure.
wasn't Janae?
Got you.
Wasn't Janae Aiko?
Because
Yeah.
I was lost for a second. I get
Yeah.
you. I
Sorry?
get what you're saying.
That's the whole movement.
You said what?
What'd you say?
Don't taunt her.
Wait, was he picking on me?
I said, wasn't Janae Aiko wearing something like that recently?
Oh,
Yes. Yes, she was.
Yeah.
Yes, she was.
Janae Aiko was what?
Wearing that too. That type of style.
Yo, what's up with Fendi? Did Fendi just drop some new shit? Because everybody got that
they're
shit on
always
right
dropping
now.
some new shit.
Yeah.
They're always dropping some new shit.
Because everybody, I saw a compilation of pictures of Fendi outfits. I'm like,
Yeah.
Damn.
And everybody's dropping like more and more
Kim K did
athletic
it.
shit.
Well, Kim and Courtney did it best.
you ain't never done your own clothing brand? You never
Nah,
designed no
man.
clothes and no shit?
Nah, man. That's,
would like to
That's
do
so
it.
hard to get into.
Yeah.
bro.
Really?
That's so hard to get into.
saying it's hard to
Especially
get
like
it?
if you want it to pop. You know what I'm saying? Like I've known so many people that have like started their own clothing lines and stuff, and it's like it's very hard to get it to pop. Like the one thing that'll make it pop is like if somebody famous will wear your shit, and then like they'd be like, oh, by the way, I'm wearing this shit that so and so
Right.
made. Then everybody fucking wants it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Take Jerry Lorenzo for example, the Fear of God maker.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Kanye was wearing his shit and he
With
was
the
like
holes and
dressing
shit all
Kanye
over
on
it.
tour. Yeah, exactly. And then Kanye was like, "Oh, by the way, Jerry Lorenzo is the guy that makes this shit."
Hashtag
Next
clout.
day, yeah, clout through the roof, bro. Next day, like you're getting like fucking just straight track pants on feargod.com, and they're like $1,000. And people are
God
willing to pay it.
damn.
Boom.
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's the only way to get
You
it
don't even have
popped.
to have that many units because people want to buy the small quantity.
That's how it
it's
will
luxury.
pop. Yeah.
Right.
There's this designer in LA. His name is Ruigi. His brand is called Rude. It's spelled RHUDE.
Okay.
So like, he made like a line of T-shirts, and they're just like bandana print. Right.
I've seen those. Yeah, the
Kendrick
flannels and
Lamar
all type
wore
of
it.
shit. Yeah,
And, like,
yeah.
Kendrick Lamar accepted his award wearing that shirt, and then everybody's like,
Clout
"What
through
fucking
the
shirt is
roof.
that?"
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of sickening.
Then
yeah.
like the next day, it's like, "Yo, this fucking Rude brand is on fire." Right
Shit
now.
sells it.
Yeah.
See, I always thought about starting like a clothing brand. I know that's like the way to get it to pop nationally, but I feel like you got to really strategize it. I guess if you get it to pop without
Can't have
putting
to
it
do
on
it.
a person.
Yeah,
can't have to
I
do
mean,
that.
there's a way to get it pop without putting it on a person, I'm sure, but that's how these clothing lines blow up overnight. Is
Right.
because somebody like famous is wearing your shit.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I guess I mean you could like make a clothing line and take over your city with it. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually that'll spread somewhere else. You
That's
know what I
true.
mean?
Right.
But how
Mo-
much time does that take?
It does take a while.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm not on anything. I was gonna say a lot of these high fashion brands, or I'm not saying a lot. I forgot which one I was looking into the other day. I was doing some research, but it literally took them like 50 years to get to like the high fashion level they're at.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
how long
like,
it
that
takes.
shit
some of them.
happens, like, it
I mean,
literally
take
takes,
Goyard
like-
for example. Like,
Yeah, it takes a while.
that shit was just
for this
made for
shit.
like the maker of Goyard at first. Like he would just like put this like shit like on his desk and like have like stationary shit
Yeah,
to
like,
write
that
with,
shit,
like,
like-
Goyard pens and shit.
To get to
Damn.
that specific level, like that serious high fashion level they're at, that shit
Yeah.
takes like
Yeah,
like fucking almost some like pass it down to the next generation to
Right.
continue this shit.
of course.
Like-
to make sure it goes where it's
Yeah,
supposed to go.
where it's
Right.
supposed to
Of
go.
course.
Like
Hey,
that kinda
Like a
y'all,
shit.
legacy.
Y'all, have you seen? Well, nobody's probably Horsepower.
No,
It's that documentary
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Complex
yeah, yeah.
did about.
About
Did you see it?
Polo.
About
yeah,
Polo.
yeah,
You
yeah,
saw
yeah,
it?
bits and pieces
yeah,
of
with
it.
Polo
That sh-
stuff.
did
Yeah,
you
yeah,
see
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
That shit was fire.
Yeah.
That shit was fire.
was
Yeah,
wild.
that shit
Yeah.
was fire. Yeah, that was like they went old school Polo, like in how like the
They're like
culture of
BBC up
like
there,
stealing
like,
from
old.
school, stealing the Polo clothes from stores, like forced them to change their artistic direction when it came to designing the clothes. Like designing more stuff that wasn't getting stolen, but then the shit that wasn't getting stolen started getting popping because that's all they were making. So niggas started stealing that shit. Like it was crazy.